There's a quote that every time I read it or hear it just causes me to take a deep breath. It's the one from Mary Oliver. Tell me, what will you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? What a phrase, wild and precious life. There's something about that phrase that kind of strikes me deep, deep here and causes me to really pause and really think differently about any number of things. I mean, partly it's kind of like that phrase, it's a shame to waste a life. I can't remember the phrase exactly, but it's a shame to waste a life. Well, that's kind of what Mary is referring to with that phrase. But the really cool part is the idea that you have this incredible possibility, a wild and precious life, something you might be able to do with it. In recent years, I find myself talking a lot with people about the soul's journey home, which is not to die. What it means is that we came here for a purpose. Now, whether that's a higher self or whether that's a soul, I don't suppose it matters. But what seems to be true is that we came here with something to fulfill or be called to. And most of us apparently have an ability, the research would show, to kind of ignore those things because we get distracted, and goodness knows there's so many things to pay attention to. But if it's true that we are in fact called to something, to a soul's journey home, some magnificent, amazing, cool thing you are supposed to do with this life you've been gifted with, then suddenly you begin to ask yourself a different set of questions. It's a lot different than ask, well, what am I going to do with today? It becomes like, well, what am I going to do to fulfill that purpose? I was just talking to someone yesterday about this, and they said, like, I'm really having an existential crisis. Like, what is the point of this life I'm living? And I said, that is an outstanding question. So you see, I know that we get caught up in the affairs of the day, and it's so easy to do that. And I realize it's easy to balk at asking these big, expansive questions about ourselves and our lives. But if Mary Oliver is right, that it's your one wild and precious life, I think you probably owe it to yourself. We all owe it to ourselves to take a deep breath, ask that big question, and see where it takes us. Might surprise you, might surprise all of us, might just change the world.